Hi guys, hi, how's it going? How you doing today? Hopefully today finds you well. Today I am doing my makeup rehab for the month of June, in which I go through all the products that I've picked up since the last makeup rehab. It's a point system. It's kind of trying to keep myself in check, and it is the brainchild of Steph from It's Steph here on YouTube. Took inspiration from her on how to keep myself in check without putting myself on a no-buy. With that said, I do think that I maybe overspent this last month. That's all I got. So what we'll do is we'll walk through the things that I purchased, but before that we'll walk through the things that I emptied. We'll talk about the point system, how many points I have, how many points I've used, and we'll go from there. For those of you new here, hi, my name is Donna. I am a field leader for Ulta Beauty. I really like high-end makeup, and self-care is the name of the game, and this is my self-care. I enjoy coming into this room, doing my makeup, putting on the things, trying out new products, and really like to talk about makeup. So that is why we're here today, and I hope that you enjoy it. And if this isn't your cup of tea, if this is not something that you like to watch, I guarantee you there is probably something on my channel that will bring your heart as much joy as it brings my heart, because I have been doing this for a while and I have a lot of videos here on my channel. I encourage you to go seek one out, watch it, check it out. And I hope that you'll want to subscribe before you go at the end of the day. I am trying to reach 2,000 by my birthday in September, and I hope that I get there. I always have an amazing giveaway in my birthday month, so that will be just the icing on the cake. Let's jump into this makeup rehab video because I just want to get it over with. At this point, I know I overspent. I know I will be negative. I blacked out is what happened. I did. So let's talk about it. Okay, let's talk about some changes. So first and foremost, look at the hair. Like, I am, number one, digging the cut. Number two, I actually really freaking love the color. If I'm honest with you, like, I feel like there's not a color that we have put on my head yet that I have not loved. So with that said, I think I'm going to have to change the shadows that I put on my face. As of late, have been an awful lot of pinky purpley leaning. I think it's because of my hair. I do think that I'm going to need to change like my thought process when it comes to the shadows going on my face. How do we feel about the haircut and the hair color, guys? I really dig the color. There's a little bit of pink in there. There's a lot of blue in there. There's some green and some turquoise. I got my nails did. Look at that. It's just a manicure, but I did get my nails did. How do we feel about that? They're usually like nothing, right? But I did get my nails did. I also redid these closet doors because these closet doors were turning me orange, and every single video I was having to color correct, and I did not love it. Yeah. Welcome to the new us. The idea of makeup rehab, for those of you new to this, is that you have a set of rules that you use. I'll put them up here on the screen for you to see. I think I blew through all of these rules. The premise is that you have a bank of points, and for everything that you purchase, you lose a point, but for everything that you empty, you get a point back. So it's a consistent points in and points out system for you to like spend money and purchase items without beating yourself up over it most of the time. I do have quite a few empties. I'm really proud of my empties this month because I really focused hard on Project Pan items. I really focused hard on some of the things that I was using, and like I just have a lot to go through with you guys in terms of empties, so I'm really proud of that. Last month I ended the month with, I thought, -1 points. And that is what I expressed in my video. But after going through my purchases and my empties, I recalculated. And as it turns out, I actually had 3 points out of my May update to continue to utilize. So I'm starting with a point bank of 3, which means I could have purchased 3 items for my June update without even flinching, right? Anything outside of that, I would have needed an empty to counterbalance. So with that said, let's walk through the empties, because I have quite a few. So first and foremost, I do have an empty brow product. I think it's the only brow product that I have. This is the Benefit 24-Hour Brow Setter. You know, I mean, it's really hard to determine when your brow products are truly empty or no. What I will say is that typically when this is full, that like goopiness like carries on to the wand. Like it is really wet. It's a lot more wet than this is, and I'm gonna quit pulling it out like that because it reminds me of snot right now. I know that this is empty because it quit holding my brows the way that this typically does. This is my Holy Grail Brow Setter product, so I am really familiar with how it holds my brows in place, and I knew that this was gone when it was no longer keeping my brows lifted. It also started to like be just really goopy in my brows. This is now an empty. I also have some mascaras. Now, not all of these were emptied all at once. This one has been open in my collection since I believe October. I did use it in my eye look a few days ago actually, and noticed that it was just really dry and it wasn't coating my lashes in the way that it used to at one point in time. I have to be honest with you though, this is a mascara that at one point in time was one of my favorite mascaras to use, and I am less enamored by it these days than I was when I first tried it. I've tried some really spectacular mascaras and this just isn't it. I will probably not repurchase this ever. I also have this one that came out of Turn and Burn, and it was just really very, very dry. This is just a deluxe size. I've used a Max Stack mascara before, so I do know what it's supposed to do to your lashes when it is fresh and new and golden and beautiful. And this just wasn't it. This is a really great mascara typically, but this one was so dry every single time I put it on my lashes, and then flaky also. And I know that that isn't the case for the Max Stack mascara unless it is bad. This is no longer a mascara that I can use on my eyes just because it's so dry and bothersome and flaky. I had this one in my to-go bag for a long, long time. I think I've had this in my to-go bag since like September or October, and it was doing really, really well until my last trip out. I did use it and it was completely bone barren dry. This is my favorite mascara these days, and this one is just like super, like you can't, there's no color coming off. So this one is going into empty as well. And then this one, the full-size version, I've had open and in use in my collection since January. I typically will keep a mascara in use. Now those ones were all in use for a lot longer. This one has been in since January, and I just really need to let it go. At this point, it's been 6 months. It still has a little bit of color that's coming off, but I don't think it's nearly as effective as the new one that I just opened that is on my lashes today. So this one is going into the garbage as well. I have two primers. So this one is the Dr. Brandt Pores No More Luminizer Primer. I have talked about this one ad nauseum. It was in my project pan, and that is how I finished this. It is completely gone. It's a beautiful primer. It's got a really nice, like, my natural glow effect to it. It's really beautiful. My daughter just got one in BoxyCharm, and I tried to talk her into giving it to me because I do love it so much, but she also likes it a lot after using it. I was able to get that finished through Project Pan. And then this one, which is the Smashbox Photo Finish Control Mattifying Primer, is something that I used up in my Turn and Burn, and I did see probably 13 uses out of this. I am putting it in here as a point in conglomeration with these other minis or samples or whatever that I have through my turn and burn. So I did say at one point a certain amount of turn and burn items would equal 1 point into my collection, and I'm doing that with these because this is another primer that I used that I got a significant amount of use on. I got 10 uses out of this guy. This is a toner that I got a significant amount of use on, and then we have a couple of one-time use items, but I do think that those items can round out so that in conjunction with the other things is going to be a point that's brought into my collection here. This is also a product that I used in Turn and Burn. This is a Julep like liquid lip sample, but I got as many uses out of this liquid lip sample as I would have gotten out of like a mini Pat McGrath lip gloss. So I am counting this as a single all on its own. This was really a beautiful liquid lip. I did take the little miniature stopper out of this guy and get all the uses out of this that I could. It felt really super moussey going on and more comfortable than a liquid lip for sure. I actually quite liked that and would buy a Julep liquid lipstick to replace that at some point in my life if I needed to in a pinch because it was really good. I also finished off a Bite Beauty lipstick. This is just a mini lipstick. This is in the shade Chai. And when I ended up taking it out of my project pan, there was still a little tiny bit left of this, and I did use that up. I don't dig out my lipsticks. I just have far too many lipsticks to dig it out. I imagine that there's probably a few more uses in here if I was to dig it out, but it is an empty in terms of my makeup collection, and I'm sorry if that makes y'all mad, but I am not digging this lipstick out. With that said, I did use it up to the best of my ability. I used it as a blush. It is a beautiful blush. It is an old lipstick in my collection, so I wasn't going to put it on my lips. This is one of their Amuse Bouche lipsticks, and this is in the shade Chai, and it is so beautiful, and it's just a mini. I did get all the uses out of this that I needed to get to empty it through my deck of panning project. This is just a travel professional setting super setter spray from Benefit that largely lived in my travel bag for a grand amount of time, and then I pulled it out for deck of panning and ended up seeing it used completely up through deck of panning. I have 3 eyeliners that I am pulling in here. One was a part of like my declutters that I thought was gone, and then I thought wasn't gone, and then went to go use, and as it turns out, it is gone. Nothing is coming up. This is the Stila Stay All Day Smudge Stick in the shade Jade. This was a beautiful like green eyeliner that I truly loved. I would replace this for sure. I do think that the Stila eyeliners are really good eyeliners. I also have this one by MAC. This is the MAC Color Excess gel pencil eyeliner in the shade Perpetual Shock. And it also does not click up and is completely gone. It was a beautiful, like really gorgeous blue shade that I loved wearing on my lower lash line. What I will say is that I do have a couple of MAC eyeliners in my collection, and they're not my favorite. I don't love that you can't really smudge them. They don't go anywhere, but they almost instantaneously dry down and you can't really do anything with them at that point in time. I also have a black eyeliner from LA Girl that is one of their Shockwave neon eyeliners, but it is in black, so it's not neon. This was finished via a project pan. This is also out of my project pan, and it will be something that y'all see in the July project pan update, so it's maybe a little bit of a spoiler for you. So if you don't like the spoilers, don't look, because I have a few of them actually. But it is the Jaunty Blue eyeliner in the shade Dark Brown, and I can't get it out of the lid anymore. But with that said, if I can get it out of the lid by the time I do the project pan update, you'll get to see. But the pencil's literally like this big, and it has no more lead in it. I was able to empty 2 lip liners. So this one is actually one that should have been in my last empties video, but I couldn't find it, and it was on the floor next to my garbage bin, but it was on the floor. This is a ColourPop lip liner, and I think this one is in the shade Beeper, but I'm not 100% sure because it no longer says on the pencil what it is, but this guy is also completely gone. And in addition to that, I finished this pencil lip liner, and this is the Buxom Dolly Danger. This is again another spoiler for my project pan. So excited about that. Recently, over the last several months, I've been using this as a blush, and it makes a beautiful mauve tone blush. It used to be one of my favorite lip liner formulas, and I can say it's not a favorite lip liner formula anymore. I also have a lip balm, another project pan spoiler for you, but this is my Fresh Sugar Coconut Hydrating Lip Balm that is completely gone. So excited about that. And then the last 2 products, I do have an eye primer. This is the Handash Color Fluid in the shade Canvas, and I got this in a Beautylish Lucky Bag, not this last year, but the year before. Used it as an eye primer the whole time and really, really love it for that purpose. And it is, as you can see, all gone. I did take out the stopper in this guy and completely finished. It is bone dry in there. And listen, I would purchase another one of these. I wish Handash was a little bit more easily accessible than it is. I don't typically like shop a lot online, so it doesn't seem easily accessible to me. And then this, I feel like this should have been in my last update, but if I remember correctly, we did not do one in May because I had all of the gratis from my from FLC that we did instead. So that's why this feels like I'm repeating myself here, but this is the Fenty Killawatt highlighter, and this year it was the Fire Crystal side that I was emptying, but last year I emptied Lightning Dust. So look at that, a completely empty, amazing highlighter. Who empties a highlighter? It took me a whopping, I think, 3 years total to empty this, but we did empty that. So that is all my empties. These are gonna, you'll hear about these again because you're gonna hear about them in my project pan. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 empties, which means if I add them to the 3 points that I have, that means I have 22 points to spend. I'm excited about that because I have an awful lot over here to share with you and what I purchased. So let me clean up my space really quick. Okay, so I have 22 points to spend. I'm gonna walk through a couple things with you right now that really don't count for my purchase spending. So with that said, that's anything that's not makeup, right? But still part of the beauty space. So I'm gonna share those things with you. But anything that's not makeup, anything that is gratis, anything that I purchase with points because I already spent that money on other beauty products, so I don't count that against me again when I use my points to purchase things, and anything that is gifts. Let's start with the things that don't count for me in terms of purchases because they're beauty purchases, but not necessarily makeup. So I did purchase myself 2 new makeup erasers. For those of you who maybe don't know, I quit using makeup wipes a long time ago. I decided that I just wanted to be a better consumer and not like continue to buy these one-time use things and toss them into the trash can. So I purchased myself like 10 or 12 makeup erasers and I just used them on rotation. Well, I'm starting to get down to makeup erasers that are no longer working in the way that they should, or they're just flat out falling apart. I really love the dark makeup erasers because you guys, I do a lot of swatches. I do a lot of like removal of makeup, and my makeup erasers start looking like this. They're just super stained, and I don't love it when they're super stained like that, so I do prefer the dark colors. I haven't been able to find black makeup erasers anywhere lately, but I went to JCPenney's to find my daughter some new pants, and their whole beauty section in JCPenney's is wild to me because it's got so much in it that you can't find in stores, or you can't find in stores anymore. And while Ulta Beauty used to have these black makeup erasers all the time, I never see them anymore, and I'm in a lot of different stores. So I did purchase 2 to replace some of my more beat up makeup erasers, and they're nice and new and soft and beautiful. At that same place, they had Sigma products, and I was like, how does JCPenney beauty department have Sigma? That's amazing. So I did purchase the flat kabuki. This is to replace my like triangle shaped one that I had from Sigma in the past that I absolutely love, but started falling apart. They have a 2-year warranty, but it was kind of one that I purchased off FabFitFun, so I don't think the warranty existed anymore, and it was really old. And then I also purchased a Sigma switch, which I don't have, and I've needed one of these so dang bad. So super excited to have that in my life for sure. I also picked up a bunch of nail polish. I recently got my nails done, and this is just a manicure. It's not like fake nails or anything like that because I can't handle fake nails. But that said, getting all that nail polish in my gratis from FLC made me want more. So I went and I purchased a bunch of new nail polishes. Most of them are Orly. I think all of them are Orly. I have found that that is my favorite nail polish brand currently. And I picked up these 2 here. The blue is called Rinse and Repeat, and the variegated one is called Dancing Queen. I picked up these 2. I like that Orly has these ones that are like the toppers. They're super fun toppers. The purple is called Give Me a Break, and this one is called Let's Go Girls. And then I picked up a black and its counterpart. Look at how pretty that overlay is. The black is called Mind Over Matter, and the variegated one is called Starfire, and it is just like multi-tonal. It's so pretty. Those are all the things that I purchased that are beauty but don't count as a point. Then I got some gratis. One of my benefit rams sent me some gratis. They have the Doolala that just launched, so she sent me that in the shade Luna, a Professional matte primer, and she sent me the Professional powder, which I am excited about for whatever reason, and a new Bad Gal Bang. And then I did purchase some things with points. I did pick up 2 of the brand new Fenty blushes. These are the Hot Cheeks Velour Blush Lighters. I did get the shade Juicy Peach, and I got Baked Peach. So I think it's the medium and the deepest shade of the 2 blushes. And then I also picked up the Fenty Beauty Diamond Balm in the shade Rose Pave. I had a Diamond Balm before. I don't know why I picked this up because I hated the Diamond Balm before, but my God, it was so pretty. Oh, when I touched it, I was like, oh, I have to have that. We will see. We will see. If I don't love it, I'll give it to my daughter. And then I also picked up 2 of the new Fenty Gloss Bomb oils. I love me a good lip oil, and I also love Fenty Gloss Bomb. So this one is in Frosted Buns, and then this one is in Copa Cookie. And I think that, again, this is the medium shade and the deepest shade in the shades that came out for the Gloss Bomb oils. So those are all the products that I picked up that don't count against me in terms of points. I have a whole lot that does count against me in terms of points. So we're gonna start first with what I picked up from Melt. Melt was doing a sale where if you bought a certain amount of things, you got a different discount depending on how many things you picked up. And after I picked mine up, they put in like a little clause that you couldn't pick up certain pieces of their product lines and have them count towards your total. But I do have the receipt showing that all of mine counted towards my total. So first and foremost, I picked up 5 things and got everything 50% off. These were already 50% off, and you guys know that I was so bummed out when my one was dried up before I even got the chance to use it. So because it was only $12, I did pick it up again. It doesn't have a lid on it. So it's the gel glitter eyeshadow in the shade Making Christmas. So I did pick that up. I'm a little bit distraught because it didn't have the lid on it appropriately. So it's almost completely dried out in there. But I am going to put it into rotation now so that I can get some use on it. Maybe put some Durline in it now where it will moisten back up. I also picked up Zero. That one is really friggin' moussey. I just stuck my finger all the way into that one, which is almost like foamy and feels a little bit more glittery than the other one. Got a little bit more of a gold thing to it. They were $12 a piece, so I just purchased both of them. I also, for the 5 things that I needed to purchase from Melt to get 50% off, Fatally Yours, The Smoke Sessions Volume 2, and I picked up 3 of their gel liners. So I did pick up Haze, Metallic Purple. I mean, that is gorgeous. Wisteria, which is, I mean, kind of a glittery, chunky, really beautiful glitter eye gel. So this is the same thing as the Making Christmas is. I need to get that in use right away. And then I also picked up the gel liner in Afterlife, which is like this really beautiful, like chartreusey green shade. It's not dried up. It is cracked. That is the shade. What? That is so pretty. And the 2 palettes that I picked up, Smoke Sessions 2. Oh my God. Look at this palette. This is plastic and it is so pretty. That is gorgeous. There's 3 mattes and 5 shimmers in here. Totally doesn't match my hair these days, but it is beautiful. I think that's the first time I've seen plastic packaging on Melt. And then of course, Bailey Sarian's Fatally Yours. I do think that these 2 palettes would go really, really well together because this one is an all matte palette. Part of the green one kind of fell apart. I don't know if you guys can see that, but like here, there's a little bit of damage done there. I don't know if it's from shipping or what it's from, but that's okay. That is a beautiful palette and I'm super excited about it. And I can't complain because shortly after I purchased and made my purchase, I did it on the very first day. I saw the thing come down and then when it went back up, it had like this caveat to it that you couldn't purchase Fatally Yours, wasn't going to count for it, anything of the Bailey Sarian collection, and that Smoke Sessions wasn't going to count either because it was a new release, but I got them all for that 50% off. I spent less than $100 on 7 items from Melt Cosmetics, and that's pretty freaking phenomenal as far as I'm concerned. Then Ulta did all of their like sales that went on, and they gave us, the associates, an extra 25% discount on a lot of these things. So we got 25% off anyways for being an associate, and then an extra 25% off when we picked up items that were as part of the sale items going on for the week. And I mean, this is solid. I did some damage, but honestly, yeah, I didn't spend very much because I picked it up all on sale. So let's go through this. I picked up a new Bobbi Brown face base. I was really mad because this is a primer, but in terms of how it quantified in the sales, this was a skincare item and I purchased it as a makeup item. So they did hair care, then makeup and nails, and then skincare. And I picked it up during makeup. So I didn't get an extra discount on this, but I am super happy to have it back in my life. One of my favorite primers. I was really excited to pick up these eyeliners because these are all the multi-chrome liners from ColourPop. And when I was swatching them, I thought that they were beautiful. I did pick up 4 of them. So I got the pink one, the blue one or turquoise, the purple, and the green. They're really, really pretty. So excited to have those eyeliners. I also got a NYX Jumbo Stick in the shade Black Bean because it is a black eye shadow stick. I use these pencils more for eye primers, so it made sense to me to pick this up. I also picked up a white About Face matte fluid eye paint because I love the matte fluid eye paints by About Face, and this also makes a really great eye primer. I'm not sure why I picked it up. except for that I have heard that this is like a dupe for Urban Decay Space Cowboy. So this is in the shade Ritz, and it is a ColourPop Super Shock. I also got enamored by the new blushes that NYX has. These are so fragile, just so you know. So I did pick up 2 of the NYX Buttermelt blushes, and I got mine in the shades For the Butter and Had Butter. So kind of a mauve pink and then a really beautiful corally orange. I also picked up Hourglass Veil Primer, which is my all-time favorite primer next to this one. This one's a little bit more moisturizing. This one's a little bit more perfecting. So really super excited to have that back in my life. I picked up a Fenty Beauty Demi Glow Light Diffusing Highlighter. This is her new like highlighter. I picked mine up in Tutu, which is kind of the pinky one. I also picked up a bronzer by Bobbi Brown. This is in the shade Natural. The new ABH Glow Seeker highlighter in the shade Sun Idol. You know, I haven't purchased a highlight all year long and lost my ever loving mind. I picked up this by Live Tinted. This is the Live Tinted Hue Balm. I don't think it has a shade name on it, but it is like a blushing bronzer. It's kind of a pink tinted bronzer. I picked up the new Natasha Denona High Glam Powder Foundation. I tried this at FLC. It was beautiful, so I had to pick it up. I also picked up a Charlotte Tilbury concealer. I don't know why I picked this up necessarily. I don't love concealers. I think I was in the moment being sucked in by the sales is what I think happened. I also picked up 2 foundations. Besides the powder foundation, why did I need to pick up a powder foundation? Nobody knows. I picked up the About Face, the Performer foundation in LM2, which is a neutral shade. I do think that I maybe picked up the wrong shade. I also picked up the Win Beauty by Serena Williams foundation in the shade 135 More, I think is what it is called. So that is what the shade of that one is. I did get color match for this one. I know that that one is a match. I also picked up 4 mini Natasha Denona eyeshadow palettes that I do not have. The Mini Biba, Mini Nude, Mini Starlit. This one is actually picked up for a giveaway that I am doing with my dad's car club. So this one will not count for me or against me. And then Mini Glam. And then at Penny's, I picked up a couple things there too. The only makeup products that I picked up there was the Lunar Beauty Nude Prism palette. This is a palette that I've been wanting to pick up, but I just, like I said, I just don't ever pick things up offline anymore. Typically, I prefer to, you know, purchase in person. This is a palette that is totally, I mean, not a me palette, but a basic B palette that I think that everybody kind of needs in their collection. And I've heard really, really great things about this launch specifically. So really super excited about that. And then the only other makeup product that I picked up at JCPenney's was this, and it is an RMS Beauty blush that I'm actually really super excited to try. I got to swatch them all. Again, it's only something that you can pick up online, but I watched Morgan Turner swatch some of these in one of her videos, and I was 100% in love with them. I want to try the bronzer too, but they didn't have the bronzer there when I was there. So it will be a place that I frequent go forward because I can see me buying more of these blushes. Now these are glowy blushes. I'm trying to be a glowy blush girly. Haven't been thus far, but these blushes have been calling my name since they came out. So really super excited to have that in my collection. So I have 31 and I have a picture to show you. I have 31 new products that are counting against me in terms of makeup rehab. That means I am -9 points. That means I have to empty 9 whole things before I can feasibly bring something else into my collection and bring my beauty bank back up to 0. I mean, I've never really sat negative before, and especially not -9. But I am really happy with the purchases that I made, and I don't foresee anything coming out right now that I need to have anytime in the very near future. Even the Natasha Denona Gold palette, like, I am a collector, but that is not a palette that I'm going to be picking up anytime soon, if at all, because I just don't love it. And it's a palette that I have 9 out of the 15 shades for. So I just don't see that happening. These were unnecessary, but I really wanted that Making Christmas back. And I'm really sad that the little plastic piece is missing from here and that it was already almost dried out. Like, Melt really should figure that piece out. But really happy that I have the things that I have in this. So with that said, I am overspent in my beauty bank. I have -9 points, and it should be accurate because I went through, like I said at the beginning of this video, and recalculated all of the empties that I've had against all of the spends that I've had, and I had 3 points. I had 19 empties, so that gave me 22 points, and I have 31 purchases that count against me, and that gives me -9 points. So that is where we sit going into July. This is all of my purchases through this point in time right now. So let me know what you all think about my purchases. I would be interested to hear your thoughts. Don't forget to hit me up down in the comment section. Thank you guys so much for being here today. I appreciate every single one of you for doing so. I hope that you and yours are well. I hope that you are all loving the sunshine, getting that vitamin D, soaking it all in, and that you're just loving each other, being kind humans, and that you are all healthy, happy, and getting along as best you can. And again, just thank you so much for being here today, and I will see you next time. Bye, friends.